Strap in and hold on tight. We're about to embark on a rip-roaring roller coaster ride through the untamed, all-consuming world of yacht restoration. Welcome aboard Project Boobytrap, where dreams aren't just dreamt, they're built, and the seemingly impossible becomes our bread and butter. Guiding us through this nautical odyssey is the fearless Nicol, a titan of the marine industry, a veteran of Van Dutch, and the Da Vinci of docks. From slinging boats and yachts to orchestrating massive events with McLaren, Dior, and AT&T, Reed's done it all. But today, he's setting his sights on something even bigger, a restoration project that will echo through the ages. Our canvas is a 2015 Van Dutch yacht, forgotten, forsaken, and just a heartbeat away from the scrap heap. But under Reed's seasoned eye, it's a diamond in the rough, ready to be polished into the crowning jewel of the 2023 New Jersey marine scene. This ain't your average renovation romp, folks. It's a pedal to the metal breakneck race against the clock. From lightning-quick fixes to intricate overhauls, every challenge is a chance for Reed and his team to flex their muscles and show what they're made of. So buckle up, because you're in for one hell of a ride. From a glimmer of a dream to a solid plan, and from a plan to a breathtaking reality. This is a journey that redefines transformation. Project Boobytrap, where we don't just restore, we revolutionize.
All right, it's day one. This is Project Boobytrap. And we're waiting on all our vendors to arrive, and in standard fashion, they're all late. So we're running around the boat, we're seeing really what we gotta focus on and maybe try and brainstorm a little bit of what we can do to make this project extra special, because a project named Boobytrap has to be something that catches people's eyes and makes them wanna get on board. The strategy of this refit was different than anything we had ever done before, because it was with a client who was so engaged in the coolest little things that we could do and really didn't have a time frame. You know, most of the stuff that we do are projects that have limited budgets, crushed for time, and maybe the work is a little bit more difficult than you expect. Luckily for us on this project, it was almost the opposite. I'm gonna do two of those deck hatch shades. I'm gonna do two, because the forward one is also kind of shit. Do you want to do the aft speakers?
I got to take that box out anyway.
All right.
The speakers got to come out of the box for paint prep. So instead of putting the old one in, we just put the new one. Let's go back to the dash panel. So this is going to be acrylic.
Yeah.
Just like this, but new.
Correct.
And that should be acrylic also.
Yeah. Okay. Versus carbon, you mean? Yeah.
Hey!
Hola, Jose.
Hey, man.
Are you here?
Wake up. I'm here.
If you can just paint
Snow
it.
White?
Yeah. No,
Any
black.
Super Jet Black?
Yeah.
Shiny or flat?
Shiny.
So Super Jet Black.
Yeah. We had carte blanche to design the coolest of the cool. I'm definitely gonna do the black package. So Jose's gonna paint the chrome. He's gonna paint that chrome that you're leaning on.
Yep, paint, not powder coat.
This chrome, yeah, paint. So everything will be black.
And matte or gloss?
Gloss.
Hello.
What's your ETA, brother?
I just passed your car.
Holy shit. 7 minutes early, Mike.
Yeah.
Turning over a new leaf in 2023.
Yeah, I'm parked in the back.
I just saw you pull up. All right, I'll see you soon.
Now you want the borders same distance with that lump in it, right?
Ideally, yeah. Not the lump. I don't want the lump this wide. I want the lump.
A lot narrower, because that's like 6 inches right there. So That'll be the plain insert, and then the rest will be in the honeycomb.
Correct. And then you got the lump. What do we call that? What's the official word?
I call it a bullnose.
A bullnose. That sounds a lot better. So the bullnose will go here too, on every cushion.
On every cushion.
This hole represents the most exciting element of this project for me. What used to be here is a hot plate and a stainless sink, neither of which was ever used. And we've taken them both out, and we've designed with Counter Kings, local here in Fort Lauderdale, a completely custom pure white quartz sink setup that's got a space for bottle storage and a massive sink on the right side. Now, both those spaces will have a cover, and both of those covers will have integrated storage on the right side of the bar to make sure that they are safe and secure, even though we're at 40 plus knots. This is gonna be a really exciting element. We had a time frame of almost 4 months, so we could take our time and make sure the work was great. And we had a client that was just leaps and bounds excited for what this boat would ultimately become.
Yeah, this guy's amazing. It's been very thorough. It's been a great process. It's enjoyable, taking all the samples. Warren, look at that, babe. Fucking, you're gonna look sick. You're gonna be the king of the, Oh yeah, and then maybe we're gonna do the space, and then one more up here. Sick, Marlon. All the me guys are gonna be looking at you going, look at this guy, look at this baby. Highly recommend it.
By the way, the boat's called Boobytrap.
Boobytrap.
So this is Project Boobytrap.
Okay. Because he owns a strip club?
No. It was either Backdoor or Boobytrap, and he said his mom didn't let him call it Backdoor. Part of dismantling a yacht is allowing yourself enough time to do it without rushing. We usually start with basically all the easy cosmetic stuff, grab handles, steering wheels, switches. All right, so disassembly team is my man Doug, who's pulling apart all the speaker boxes, the hatch doors, the sliding door to the cabin, everything that's loose so that we can prep it for paint. And my man Andreas is on board right now doing some work in the interior. We're changing out the ceiling lights to add some new downlight effects, a little bit of a warm white. And then he's also changing out some of the sound system parts so that we can get ahead of that project before we head into paint. The saying always goes, prep is like 80% of a paint job. We don't realize how many little parts are actually composed of this boat. So as you can see down here, up here, what it's in my hands, it's only a small percentage of all the stuff that comes apart to paint this boat completely. Ultimately, you're dismantling a boat to get down to the bare bones of the fiberglass to repaint that shell and give it a nice, beautiful new color.
What's going on with you?
What do you mean?
You got COVID?
Yeah.
You do?
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm going to as soon as I finish this. I don't have COVID. I don't want to breathe this glue dust.
Ah, okay.
The funny thing about dismantling a boat is it's like an onion. You can take off the windshield, but you're gonna find 3 more components underneath that are gonna take another 3 days. So when we got into the Van Dutch project, luckily we had done it before and we knew the boat pretty much bow to stern. But there's still always some surprises that you come across. So I'm doing like a pre-survey on the boat, checking how it came and everything. And you were right, there's a shitload of piss in the toilet and in the tank. There's like bugs. Yo, Dougie, can you do it today? Can we get somebody to do it today? Because I'd like to get that sorted before it starts to stink like shit.
Shit, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Give me a minute here to scratch my nuts.
Okay. Daron's, my detailer's coming later, but he's gonna quote the job. So I don't think he's gonna come back today. That's why I'm asking you if you know anybody that can do it today.
Yeah, let me make a few calls.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
When we discover setbacks, it's almost like you program yourself to expect that you're gonna have setbacks during the project, whether it comes in the first day, in the middle of the project, when you're under stress to hit time frames, or the day before you deliver. You're programmed to expect that shit's gonna go wrong.
They did a really, really great job of gluing it down on top of the dash, 100% coverage. So it's splintering off. You can see a layer of laminate from the dashboard deck is coming free with the composite dash panel. I gotta separate that.
If you come across something that you've never seen before, that's one thing. And it takes research, it takes time to make sure that whatever that next step you're gonna take is the right step for the project, because the wrong step could throw you back 3 months. This piece, while we thought it was acrylic, is actually composite, and it is glued down to the dash panel. So where we thought we could just pop this off pretty quickly, we now have to grab additional tools, and Doug is gonna have to saw this into pieces and pry it off one by one to make sure that we don't take up too much of the fiberglass. We take up too much of the fiberglass, we gotta re-glass the area, and there's a high chance then that you don't have that smooth look that you get when a fiberglass boat comes out of the mold up here. You know, any imperfection is gonna be caught, so we wanna make sure that we do this the absolute right way. When we come across a setback, we just, through our experience, kind of know where to look for the answer. Whether it's a certain supplier or a certain specialist that we know, that answer is hopefully within our Rolodex. And if it's not, it's just a research game. You can't let your emotions get the best of you, because it's gonna kill the project one way or another. Some of our major setbacks, I've blacked it out because I try not to remember it anymore. But some of our major setbacks, definitely weather. Although we planned the entire time to do the refit indoors in a warehouse in Pompano Beach, Florida, we had to take the boat out in order to paint it. And of course, during those days, we got 10 straight days of rain that make it impossible to paint. We've been dealing with delays. And by delays, I mean apocalyptic rain. Fort Lauderdale got over 25 inches in just one day, and that spanned a week. And rain is the kryptonite of a good paint project. It prevents the paint from fusing to the boat, and we may have to do it all over again if the paint shows even a little bit of an imperfection. So the rain's dried up. We're here early Saturday morning. We've got about 10 working days left on this project, and we cannot finish fast enough. So we finally got our primer layered down in the paint process, and we start to finally see those massive visual changes that everybody looks forward to when refitting a boat. Now the primer is only the first step. We need this to cure for 3 days, and then we'll start shooting that actual snow white. It's gonna be really cold, really crisp color with this boat. But it took us a lot to get here. We have had pretty much no problems up until the paint process started. And right when the paint process started is when everything started to crumble a little bit. We had our painter who forgot his birthday, and he had to fly to Guatemala to celebrate with his family. The electrician who was supposed to do a bunch of work pre-paint had to get hand surgery, and that had to happen in Germany. So we gotta wait for him to come back. And all in all, we've been able to weather the storm. We've kept the project pretty much on schedule. We're about a week behind, but as you can see now, we've got primer down, we're waiting for it to cure. We've got 3 days, then we'll start shooting that paint, and we'll start really putting this project into overdrive to finish by mid-April. Other stuff is just electrical. I mean, you always find electrical issues, whether it's corrosion or deficient parts that aren't serving its purpose. And we have our tentacles out in the industry to be able to find products and parts in a quick way.
Lovely. Okay, cool. Thanks for your help. Bye. All right, all those electrical parts are coming. What'd you say to me?
Phone call. See if I can get some.
Oh, perfect. Fuck yeah. See, like, whenever I look at the camera and just give a thumbs up, it's kind of like, not sure what's gonna happen, but let me put on a face for it.
It's just about having team members that are willing to put their head down, grind, and make it good and make it on time. Because if you got people who are gonna leave you high and dry when things don't go right, you know, boat refitting is not for you. How do we progress after addressing the issue? Well, another issue comes up, you know, Murphy's Law. And then another one comes up, and another one comes up, and another one comes up, and almost the project is less about designing an incredible boat and taking pictures at the end and everybody making money. It's more about just solving problems. The anchor. The anchor was another problem for us because we wanted to take it out, and originally we wanted to anodize it, which would have been super cool, but unfortunately, to anodize you have to have perfect metals. Otherwise, later in the game, you know, corrosion and imperfections are gonna show. So when we took the anchor out and we realized this metal is just not right for anodizing, we decided to take the entire anchor apart piece by piece, sand it down, repaint it to match the boot stripe on the boat in that really poppin' orange color, and ultimately put it back together, put it in the boat, and put a new remote system on there. Doug had so many problems dealing with fittings and everything perfectly matching back into itself before we put it in the boat. And you know, he's a guy that he's a gritty dude. And he not only is a gritty dude, but he's incredibly good with his hands and incredibly good with projects that he may not have experience with, but taking it on, researching it quickly, and finding a solution that's ultimately not going to kill the project. So when I put that in his hands, I knew it was going to come back how it needed to. You want to tell me what we're doing here?
Assembling the bracket component, anchor holder for arm.
How did it look when we started?
Corroded, uncared for, neglected. Now it's the primary focus of the entire boat. Everywhere you go, you're going to want to deploy the anchor.
Now, we repainted this anchor arm orange, and it pops from far away, even when we're standing over there at the marina. It is so visually appealing, and maybe if you don't think it's appealing because it's orange, at least it pops and you know it's there. We ended up giving him a new remote, new bracket, and we're probably going to renew that chain. We gave the anchor a nice polish. The whole thing is going to look awesome. Whenever they head out to the sandbar and put that anchor down, you will know Boobytrap's in the area.